here we have a very interesting sentence, which I really like. It says, no. Why do Yashoda and Devaki have different types of prema? Also, they are both Nitya Siddha devotees, eternal associates of Krishna. Their difference in prema is also Nitya Siddha. There can be no further discussion on this. It's a very interesting way of putting it by Srila Vishwanathas Thakur, Vishwanathas Chakravarti Thakur. There can be no further discussion on this. So there are certain things it's better to have no further discussions. Of course, if you want to discuss, you can discuss forever. But certain things, there can be no further discussion on that. And you know, when that point comes, is when people have conflicts over philosophy. Then there's no more discussion on it. There's other discussions which are enlightening. Like, oh wow, there's another aspect of it. Wow. Like when Prabhupada's eternal Siddhanta, or his Nitya Siddha, his Siddha Swarupa. What is Srila Prabhupada's Siddha Swarupa? Well, some people say he indicated that he was in Shakyaras. There are certain indications for that, no doubt. Some people say there is certain indication that he is in Madhuryalas. There are certain indications for that also. So then we can say, wow, is he not? Is he this? Is he that? Well, then there is some Acharya, I think it was Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj, if I'm not wrong, he said, it's very possible that he's both. He's both this in one lila and that in another lila. Maybe he has this divine power of potency and presence. And Haribol, harmonized. So then I would say there can be no further discussion on this, according to my humble opinion, when it comes to, oh, is Prabhupada this, is Prabhupada that in the spiritual world? No, I mean, it is whatever it is, it's the purest of all nectar, because it's Prabhupada, Krishna's most beloved associate, devotee, ambassador, and everything. So, but because devotees do have the tendency to analyze, okay, and this is analyzed here, because we know we have Madhurya Rasa, we know Rupa Goswami is the, Rupa Nuga is the Manjari, Rupa Manjari, teacher of the divine relationship with the Lord. So we expect that our main teachers are also coming in the same line. We expect that, but we do not know for sure. There is also sometimes some other indications given, and anyhow, I didn't want to get into that subject. I just read this sentence, there can be no further discussion on this, so I thought, well, that's an interesting conclusion which Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur exposes. Next verse. Today I was meditating about the spiritual leadership of our Vaishnavis. The spiritual leadership of the Vaishnavis is actually very wonderful and very great sensation. And since we had the wonderful visit of Jai Sri Guru Maharaj from Calcutta these days here with us, it has become very, very prominent and alive to us that how such mercy actually manifests. Twang eva purva sargebu prishni swayam uveshati tadayam sutapanama prajapatir akalmasa. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead replied, "My dear mother, best of the chaste. In your previous births, in the Swayambhuva millennium, you were known as Prishni and Vasudeva, who was the most pious Prajapati, was named Sutapa. Commentary. The Lord said, O mother, not only in this birth, but in previous birth, I have appeared in your womb. Why are you thinking yourself so fallen? You are not an ordinary human. During the reign of Swayambhuva Manu, you became Abu Prishni. O Sati, Devaki, and Vasudeva, Ayam was your husband Sutapa. Shakshur militam jene tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manuvistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Bhupakadamyam Dadati Swapadantikam. How did somebody become the mother of Krishna? This is further analyzed here. When both of you, Prishni and Sutapa, were ordered by Lord Brahma to create progeny, you first underwent severe austerities by controlling your senses. My dear father and mother, you endured rain, wind, strong sun, scorching heat and severe cold, suffering all sorts of inconveniences according to different seasons. By practicing pranayama to control the air within the body through yoga, and by eating only air and dry leaves falling from the trees, you cleansed from your minds all dirty things. In this way, desiring a benediction from me, you worshipped me with peaceful minds. Thus you spent 12,000 celestial years performing difficult activities of tapasya in consciousness of me. O sinless Mother Devaki, after the expiry of 12,000 celestial years, in which you constantly contemplated me within the core of your heart with great faith, devotion and austerity, I was very much satisfied with you. Since I am the best of all bestowers of benedictions, I appeared in the same form as Krishna to ask you to take from me the benediction you desired. You then expressed your desire to have a son exactly like me. Wow. Om Magyanati Minandasya Yananjala Chalakaya Shakshurun Militam Jene Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. After the months of Kartik has passed, Puri Maharaj ki jai. We are entering now into the winter season, the beautiful winter season in Vrindavan. It's very remarkable. The example we can hear from Vasudeva Devaki, their relationship with the Supreme Lord, who appears as their son in their divine family, shows us about the personal relationship the Lord has with his devotees. Their extremely personal relationships. So much that the Lord can even agree to become his devotee's son. Gurudeva Tulananda. It's a good practice. We have learned it from the sages. So, this extremely personal relationship, which comes by, or which is being revealed by Krishna having father and mother. Who are those father and mother of Krishna? Well, there is extremely intimate devotees in Vatsalya Rasa. This Vatsalya Rasa is also another one of the divine gifts of the Lord. So Krishna does like to reveal or to relate to different devotees in different moments, in different moods. And all these moods are worship. For example, the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ai Sachimata, well, she doesn't worship the Lord in Madhurya Rasa, but she is the worshipable queen of all the 6 Goswamis who are coming to teach us about Madhurya Rasa. So the divine plan is always okay. On our understanding of the divine plan, that's another thing. We may understand, we may not understand. We properly do not understand because it's achintya. It is inconceivable. Many things are inconceivable, but nevertheless they are managed in our divine revelation, in our language, in a very beautiful way, which we call Shastra revelations. So when the Shastras reveal something, you do not necessarily understand it. It is just simply something like Srila Prabhupada wrote in his Nectar of Devotion. I did not write this book thinking that anybody will understand it. I wrote this book so that people will know that such a thing does exist. Such an elevated topic, such an elevated relationship and everything. So I think many things in our spiritual life, they are not really understandable, but by our grace of our gurus, we are informed that such things exist. And if we worship it upon our head, that's when Srila Bhakti Rakshana Maharaj, when something like this, he put his head above, he said, oh, this thought I simply worship. I don't take it in my brain to like scrutinize it, analyze it, making the police investigation, you know. No, simply worship it and worship and adore. So, leadership in this world is very much a topic of the Shiksha Diksha Gurus. And Guru Mata, Guru Pita, they are the first Gurus. Our father and mother, especially when they're devotees, that they're naturally our first spiritual masters. They teach us everything. And in my case, I learned much more from my mother than from my father. My father didn't have much time for his kids. But my mother was always there looking what, even to the point that we asked her questions which she could not answer. I distinctively remember those moments when I asked my mother questions which she went like this. I don't know. So one of them was the question, why do I suffer in this world? I had a pretty terrible childhood as far as physical health is concerned. I spent many times in hospitals, and the other boys and girls at school I was studying with, they didn't have that problem. So I asked my mother, why me? Why me? Why am I getting smashed all the time? And she answered, I don't know. So at that time we didn't manage the karma and things like that in our thought system. So we didn't have really a clue. Anyhow, the Guru Mata, Guru Pita is very interesting. If I'm not wrong, Swami Maharaj may look it up, the shloka says Guru Mata first and Guru Pita second. So actually the scriptures, when they talk about this Guru Tattva, they talk about first one is feminine. It doesn't say Guru Pita, Guru Mata. So just like in the national anthem of India, the first river which is mentioned is Yamuna, not Ganga. First, respect is given to Yamune, Gange. So like this, we have a very, very strong emphasis on our dependence. It's complementary. Yes, they're complementary to each other. To take woman there and man there and say, hey, they're two separate species. This is really, there cannot be anything more stupid than that, because both man and woman have a mother, so they're joined together. So the whole thing is very abstract. So in our Krishna conscious family, the women spiritual leaders, they should not be seen as somebody It is a lifelong commitment. And it is in the hands of the Supreme Lord, obviously. I am a spiritual teacher because we are not. We are just servants, aspiring servants of the spiritual teachings. That's what we are. But nevertheless, in our spiritual family, we are very proud